first of all, your assessment of the credibility of the witness, because straight away, as soon as there's criticism of President Trump, he's come out and dismissed her as having had a vendetta against him because he hadn't given her a top job. Do you think she was a credible witness with the claims she made last night?
Well, certainly Cassidy Hutchinson has a record as a leading Republican advisor on Capitol Hill. She was an advisor to one of the top Republican congressmen, Steve Scalise, for years. And then significantly, she became a chief advisor to the White House Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, including in those final days of the Trump administration. So, yes, she is highly respected up on the Hill. But of course, given the damning nature of her testimony about Trump's involvement and his attempt to actually lead his supporters in storming the Capitol, there will be this counter from the Trumpists trying to tear her down.
Let's just take a look at some of the accusations that Ms. Hutchinson has made. She said that Donald Trump wanted metal detectors taken away to allow it to look as if there were more people on the march to the Capitol. So those metal detectors were there to guard against knives and guns, for instance. He knew people were armed with rifles when he encouraged them to march on the Capitol, she says. She says he tried to grab the steering wheel of an armoured car when he was told he was being taken away from the Capitol, and then grabbed the neck of a Secret Service agent. When he was told there was no fraud, he threw his lunch at the wall. And then he said that his Vice President, Mike Pence, deserved to hang. If there's any credibility to any of those accusations, can this man be banned from running for president again? Should he be allowed and be seen as fit to run for public office again?
Well, it's a great question. First of all, the claims that Hutchinson made aren't just by herself. They are corroborated in video depositions to the committee. We know that, for example, Mark Meadows, who actually worked with Trump to try to overturn the election, he and Ivanka Trump tried to intervene on the day to tell Trump to stop the attack, to prevent it from happening, but that Trump insisted that the marchers should be supported. In terms of what can be done, the House committee does not have the power of a criminal court. It cannot convict Trump on any charges, certainly can't send him to prison, and it cannot stop him from running in office in 2024. What the committee can do, but right now it's split on whether or not to do this, is to recommend to the Justice Department and the Attorney General that they investigate Trump, which could lead to a criminal prosecution. But I think, although this is scathing, I think this does undermine Trump, except in the eyes of his most loyal supporters. No, this does not stop him from continuing to pursue that run for president in 2024.
Absolutely key in all of this, isn't it? It's not going to change the opinion of his core supporters. In fact, it's probably not going to change the opinion of his detractors either. It's not going to move the dial necessarily. In fact, it just leaves us in the same position, potentially.
Well, I think there's two important points. I think the first is there's a lot of people in the middle. Not everybody in America is like completely entrenched in pro-Trump or anti-Trump. But I think secondly, this is more important than Trump. The fact is what we are having right now is an investigation of the first attack by American citizens on their own Capitol. The last time the Capitol building was stormed, indeed burnt to the ground, was when you folks did it in the War of 1812. If you do not have accountability for whomever was involved in this attack, from those who stormed the Capitol to those who led them, to those who plotted to overturn the election, like Donald Trump, someone can do this again. Someone else can say, well, they got away with it. Why can't I just throw aside the Constitution, throw aside the American system? This is the closest we came to an effective coup in America since the U.S. Civil War. So, yeah, it's not just a case of whether or not Trump is held to account. It's whether the system is upheld, which is why the hearings continue to be so important.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows, and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.